Hi, everyone. Hoping that you all are well. This is Dr. Tracy McCarthy. We're going to be addressing the 12 tribes chart. This chart is essentially another doctrine of distraction. There is an apparent obsession with being identified as a descendant of Jacob around the world. And so you see this obsession in the Americas, you see this obsession in Europe, you see this obsession in Africa, Asia, and specifically in the Middle East. What we're going to be doing is looking at some confounding dynamics with respect to these paternal theories of lineage related to Jacob. Now, of course, you have other entities that are identifying as descendants of Jacob based upon a matrilineal paradigm, which also, of course, has its confounds. We're going to be addressing the tribe of Benjamin, and we're going to be looking at this confounding dynamic with respect to that 12 tribes chart and how this 12 tribes chart is based upon fallacies. And so what's going on is there are a number of religious leaders and celebrities that are making these race-based, phenotype-based, and geography-based claims of descendancy. And the descendancy is related to Jacob in scripture. And so many individuals are identifying individuals as being descended from Jacob based upon race, what they look like, and also geography, where they are located. And so this includes all of the Americas, by the way. And so people are basically saying that all of the people in the Americas are Hebrew and all of the people in the Americas are descended from Jacob. And they are also descended from those who were enslaved in the transatlantic slave trade. And so with this theory, there is that 12 tribes chart. And there is the assertion that all Jamaicans and all West Indians are descended from men who were of the tribe of Benjamin, meaning that Jacob was the father, then there was the son Benjamin, and that all of these individuals in Jamaica and in the West Indies are descended from fathers who were in this patrilineal line. And so this is in spite of the fact that many of the people who are in Jamaica, who are in the West Indies, they have varied ancestries. And so they have ancestry that comes from different feeder nationalities. And so they have lots of East Indians in Jamaica and ancestry connected to East Indians. There is a considerable Chinese population in Jamaica and considerable ancestry growing out of that. There's also considerable Scots and Irish ancestry in Jamaica. And so there's quite a bit of diversity in terms of who is in Jamaica, who is in the West Indies. But the assertion is that all of these entities are descended from the tribe of Benjamin, remembering that this is not a matrilineal claim, so it doesn't include the mother. It's only including the father. And so the assertion is that all of these men in Jamaica, one way or another, if they are brown, they are descended from this tribe of Benjamin. And what some of this does is it creates a lot of chaos and confusion for those who are simultaneously trying to assert slavery descendant claims or indigenous identity claims. What we're going to do is quickly look at the case of Bob Marley because this is a perfect confound for this paradigm. Most 12 tribes charts focus on the Americas. We're going to be specifically focusing on the tribe of Benjamin, which according to most 12 tribes charts is applicable to what are known as West Indians, Jamaicans, and so those individuals are understood as being of the tribe of Benjamin. In other words, descendants of Jacob's son Benjamin specifically. And according to the theory, all of the individuals in the Americas, for the most part, the places that you see on the screen, all of these individuals are considered descendants of Jacob one way or another based upon a lineage coming down through these sons that you see listed. So you see things like Judah, the so-called Negroes, in other words, Americans in the United States, Benjamin, West Indians, Levi, Haitians, Simeon, Dominicans, Zebulon, Guatemala, and Panama. And so you see these different geographic locations and these identities that are tied to these descendants of Jacob based upon geography. What we have here are the Marley men. On the right-hand side, you have Bob Marley's father. Now, with this 12 tribes chart and all of these paradigms related to race, phenotype, and geography, you have a paradigm that situates Bob Marley as what would be considered the tribe of Benjamin. However, Bob Marley's patrilineal dynamic ties to someone who is significantly lighter. And so, with this assertion that all brown people or all black people or all Jamaicans or all West Indians are descendants of Jacob, one needs to take into consideration these types of situations. And this is not an uncommon situation, by the way. So, if you trace a number of individuals in the United States, in the Americas, you trace their ancestry, you will tend to find quite a bit of diversity. And this is a great case in point. And so this is a confound in that whole theory that situates people as descendants of Jacob based upon a current phenotype. Now, we've discussed this before. A man can only have one father, and that patrilineal descent goes from father to son, father to son, father to son, unchanged.